Welcome back, everybody. Episode 6 of the Cliff Ellis Show. I'm Dave Ackert, your host here at WMBF Sports, joined along with the one and only Coach Cliff Ellis. Coach, first, how you doing? Hanging in there today?
Yeah, it was a tough week last week. We had some buzzer beaters. We got the cardiac kids there. You know, people want to see a great game. Just come to Coastal. Just wait. Last minute, we'll give you a thrill. And so that's the way last week was. The week before, 2 games in overtime. 3 games this past week, and all went down to two of them went down to the last second, and the other one went down to the last minute. So, you know, we're so close to being at the top of the league. At the same point in time, when you drop those games, it puts us towards the bottom. So it's going to make it one heck of a conference tournament. This league is so balanced, and you got to take them one at a time and just hope that things turn out your way.
Yeah, Coach, I mean, that's honestly wanted to be my first question is the Sun Belt almost feels like it's the Big 12 this year. I mean, you guys are just losing all these close games, every game, down to the wire with some of the, I mean, what do you do in a league like that?
Well, we beat the number 1 team, Louisiana, and that just tells you. You know, we've just been right there with everybody else, either winning or just losing at the end. And, you know, it's heartbreaking, it's tough, but we have to pick ourselves up and continue to go and be the best that we can be. And we can't look back. Even if you win, you can't look back.
Coach, a couple of the guys still playing well, despite not coming up on the winning sides of things. Antonio Day setting or tying another career high. Right. Maybe just on him in these last couple games.
Yeah, he's been playing well. You know, he's our floor leader, floor general. He makes plays for us, and he's a guy that takes it to the rack. He finds other people, and he's a big key to our team.
And Josh Udije, almost the same thing. I mean, he's just been setting records, getting Sun Belt.
Yeah, it kind of went back a little bit this past week, but it was Player of the Week the week before. Now he's marked. He's a hunted human being. So those shots that he was getting when he was Player of the Week, you know, once you get 27, 33, whatever the numbers are, they're going to start shutting the tank down, and that's what's happening with him.
So, Coach, with those, I know we've done this the last couple of weeks, but I mean, when you're in those close games like that, what is it like coaching the final minute?
Well, you don't notice it. I mean, you're just coaching. You play until the buzzer sounds, and you know you're in the mix of it. So you just continue to go and roll and be the best that you can be during that play. It's the next play, next possession.
Right. And free throws have been something we talked about in these episodes. Good for you guys in the beginning. Now it seems the other team is kind of...
Well, we were 3rd in the nation at one time, same players. You know, sometimes your legs start giving out a little bit, but definitely in those games that we've lost close ones, free throws have been a part of it. At the same point in time, you know that you can do it because we've done it before. But when you miss 1 or 2, it's like a 4-foot putt in golf. You start missing, and you know it just starts getting away from you.
Obviously, you never want to lose a game, but maybe is losing by 1 or 2. Do you motivate these guys, not knowing that you're in these games at the end, or is it? I mean, how is it? It's hard on the guys in the locker room. So how do you kind of coach them through these moments?
Well, you have to put the game behind you. You got to look forward to the next possession. These are young guys. You have to understand that adversity faces everybody every day. You know, it's proven that 3 to 5 things adversely are going to affect you that day, things that are surprising, not supposed to happen. And you got to be able to withstand that, and getting young kids to understand that is a big part of the teaching process. You focus on getting better. How can I get better? How can I stay in the moment? It's a process. Stay in the moment. And it's hard. It's very difficult. It's hard.
All right, so Coach, we've looked back here at the last couple of games. We'll maybe try to take a look right after the break.
He is here to connect you to the things that matter most in your life. With the area's largest fiber optic network, HTC is here with the fastest speeds to help power your day. Do a little multitasking. Keep the peace. All to help your day run smoother than ever before. See how HTC is here to connect you to your world and take advantage of these great offers today.
Another trial, another battle. Where's your strength? Tenacity. What's your history? Fighting for my clients in court. But what sustains me now is working with three of the finest individuals I've ever known. My family. There's power in family. Power for our clients. Fighting for your rights is my family's business.
Britain Law.
Hand-cut USDA choice beef, expertly butchered by Logan's in-house professionals, and grilled to perfection over mesquite wood fire. Yeah, that's steak done right. Don't want steak? Logan's mesquite flame-grilled, fresh, never-frozen chicken and wild coho salmon are sure to please. Logan's, fresh food, cooked to perfection, just for you.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Cliff Ellis Show. Dave Ackert here, Coach Cliff. Coach, we took a step back, looked at some tough one-point losses, if that, these last couple of weeks. Now we set the pace here forward. The guys need to just win another game. I mean, how are we telling the guys at practice to just get back on?
One game at a time, one day at a time. Part of the process. Focus on what's up next. You know, you get knocked down on the mat, you got to be able to come up. You know, you're going to get your nose blooded. You just got to focus on getting up, focus on the next opponent, block everything out, and focus on getting the next game.
So, Coach, we had Marshall. You've played there already. Getting them to come back here at home, maybe like a boxing match. One versus one. I mean, how do you?
Well, they're at the top of the two teams we have this coming week are both at the top. James Madison, Marshall. I mean, two tremendous basketball games. Marshall, and they have perimeter players that just can make shots. They've got a 7-footer that can block shots. This team has as good a talent in the starting five as anybody in the league. Dan D'Antoni, who's a Sockasty product, Myrtle Beach product, is the coach there. He's done a heck of a job. I know that he himself, he'll be fired up about coming back and playing. But talent-wise, they're as good as anybody in the league. And then, of course, James Madison, it was a war in Harrisonburg, and we've got our hands full both games, but every game's tough. It's all tough, but we've got a 4-game homestand. Let's face it, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. The conference tournament is the most important thing to us. We've got to show every team that we're going, when that conference tournament comes into play, we're going to be ready. And that's what we do each game at a time. Marshall beat us at their place. It was not overwhelming, but it was convincing. James Madison, we got Georgia State and Texas State, who we hadn't seen, but our worst loss has been against Georgia State, but that's 2 weeks ago. We'll talk about that next week. But without question, this next week, and fans, you'll get a treat out of it with Marshall, and which is a 7 o'clock game, and then on Saturday at 2 o'clock, James Madison.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the fans, I mean, you're going to get a treat either way. I mean, last time we were home, it was 3 overtime games in a row.
The fans are enjoying. Fans are getting, they're getting their heart rate up. I mean, every game has been that way. I mean, I can't think of a year since I've been here where the games have just been so knotted close. Every conference game that we have played has just gone down to the absolute wire. And we've either been able to pull it out or we've just had heartbreak at the end.
Two players I wanted to focus on that we're going to talk to here in a minute. Jimmy Nichols, I know we talked to him before the season even started about coming home. Maybe first just how he's been playing the season, and then if you've noticed anything with him being back home.
Yeah, well, Jimmy is a Conway product. He is a guy that is as athletic as anybody that we have on our team. Learning the system, has had some good games. But the one thing about Jimmy is he's going to give you the effort every time that he comes out on the floor. And I think that we've got another year with him to develop him and get him where he wants to be. And hopefully he'll continue to make those strides.
Awesome. And then with him, I mean, he's gotten some starts, mostly coming off the bench. I mean, roles like that with the players, ever transitioning, it seems like, with these new teams we've mentioned before. Everyone finding their spot. I mean, what is that like at this point in the season?
Yeah, well, right now, after you've played this many games, I think players understand where they're going to be. And, you know, when we look at, I tell our guys, forget about whether you're a starter. It's you know, somebody's going to begin the game and somebody's going to end the game. But you're going to get in there, do your job when it comes.
Awesome. Another player I wanted to mention, Will Lakai. Similar situation there. I mean, he's been double-digit minutes, 5-6 points a game. A nice role player there for the team. What has he meant for you guys?
But Will, the two things he'll do for you, number one, he'll go get you a rebound. And that's been one of our weaker areas. He will bring it on defense, and that's been his asset. Hadn't shot the ball as well as he shot it last year. I think that'll come. And, you know, he, like I said, he brings it. He just brings it. You can always know that Will's going to try to give you his best effort every game.
That's almost better because you can't, the shots you can correct, right? It's the effort, bring it every night.
You don't have to worry about his effort.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Coach. We're going to talk to those players here in a second when we come right back after a word from our partners.
Where's Olivia?
Upstairs taking a bath. You think he's cute? He's in 2 of my classes.
Oh, sugar, you're about to have a mess on your hands. Upstairs, you got about 40 gallons of water that's getting ready to destroy your ceilings and your floors.
Olivia, tub, now. Geez, that was a close one.
Glad to help, honey. But let me tell you, when it comes to those teenage hormones, you are on your own. Trouble doesn't always come with a warning. You can rely on A&I.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
HTC is here to connect you to the things that matter most in your life. With the area's largest fiber optic network, HTC is here with the fastest speeds to help power your day. Do a little multitasking. Keep the peace. All to help your day run smoother than ever before. See how HTC is here to connect you to your world and take advantage of these great offers today.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Cliff Ellis Show. Dave Ackert here, finally joined with Wilfred Lakai, one of the returning players on the team this year. Has that, I guess first question is, almost a leadership role? Do you have one at all, and did it come more naturally being one of the guys who's known Cliff and known the team for a little longer than most?
I feel like that just comes with being a returner. It got set in stone just because we had a wide group of people leave the team. So I feel like we had about 8 transfers coming in. So it just kind of molded, and Esam and Josh followed, and we all just try to be leaders as one.
Awesome. And then, I know early in the season, it was kind of just trying to gel as a team. Now, the theme of the last couple of weeks has been you guys and nail biters.
Yeah.
You won 2 close overtime games at home. Now you've lost a couple at the buzzer, essentially. What has that done for the team? How are you guys? It's one thing to win a nail, and then, it's just the exact opposite when you lose one, so.
I feel like that makes us want to, fight and have a little bit of more hunger in us. We really could have won those games. We had little errors that we could have fixed, but I feel like that brings us together as a team. That it makes us gel even stronger to win the game.
I said obviously you never want to lose, but when you lose by 1 point like that or something, it can almost bring a team together more, right? If you guys can bounce back from it, which it seems like you've done several times this year already. So for you guys going forward now, we look at this calendar, not a lot of games left already. It seems like we just started this season.
Yeah.
But how do you guys make this kind of, not final push, but you're gonna have 4 games at home here in a week or 2. So what is that like coming back home for a 4-game stretch like that?
Really, honestly, just listening to coach, just watching the film, making adjustments, and sticking together. We have to, we can't break. One thing that coach says, when we're together, we can't break, and that's when our mistakes come. So just sticking together and fighting to the end.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us, and we're gonna be back with another player right now. All right, welcome back, everybody. We have another player here on Coastal Carolina, Jimmy Nichols. Jimmy, very popular with the hometown fans.
Yes, sir.
A Conway kid yourself, if I can call it that.
Yeah, you can.
So speaking of them, they've been having a pretty successful season there for the high school. Conway Tigers are, they were like 21-1 last time I checked. So maybe just a note on the team.
We had a high school coach that was a head coach at a higher level, Division I, so I feel like he kind of has like a knack for getting the best out of his players and knowing how and when to play certain players. So he just do what he got to do. And we all been around since middle school, early middle school, so he just kind of knows us a lot. So just using his weapon.
Speaking of coaches, now you've been, a couple months in with Coach Cliff here now. Beginning of the season, I think we talked, and it was about the team gelling.
Yeah.
Now you guys, more than halfway through the season, what's it just kind of been like?
Ups and downs, a lot of close games, but the close games are it's a lot of learning, kind of not looking at the last 2 minutes of a game, but trying to pick up on stuff earlier to eliminate all wrongdoings at the end. But it's challenging, but I see we getting better at it, but we also gotta look at every other team's getting better, so we just gotta kick it up another notch.
Yeah, it seems like too, you guys, some teams might have 1 overtime game in a season, and you guys had 2 where you won 2 in a row. Now, 1 just close game, losing by 1. Having both ends of that spectrum there, what do you think that does?
I think it's gonna help us in the end, being battle tested for overtimes. Certain teams probably haven't even had one yet, so they don't even really know what it takes to have that, or how much energy that extra 5 minutes really takes out of you. So I think it's gonna help in the end, but you just gotta wait and see. But I know if it comes to a point where we do have an overtime game, I think we're gonna be looking the best.
One of the things too that's really interesting, about the Sun Belt and a lot of the mid-major conferences, just coming down that stretch there. That conference means a lot. For you guys specifically, it seems like you've beaten some of the best teams in your conference, and then you've lost all these close games. Does that give you guys confidence knowing down the end of this season you guys can beat anybody?
Yeah, it's a lot of confidence. It's just, it's pretty annoying just losing the teams that you can beat, but it's kind of how the game goes. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off. You just got to fight back and try to push through.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. Appreciate the time. Good luck in these games to come.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back, right after the break.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Hand-cut USDA choice beef, expertly butchered by Logan's in-house professionals and grilled to perfection over mesquite wood fire. Yeah, that's steak done right. Don't want steak? Logan's mesquite flame-grilled, fresh, never-frozen chicken and wild coho salmon are sure to please. Logan's, fresh food, cooked to perfection, just for you.
Waccamaw Land and Timber has been serving the Grand Strand since 1982. The ultimate goal of Waccamaw Land and Timber is to achieve the best interests of both the buyer and the seller. We can handle all of your commercial real estate needs. But if you're just looking for a place to relax, hunt, or fish, the professionals at Waccamaw Land and Timber can find you the perfect recreational property as well. Call 843-449-0441 to discuss your real estate needs with Waccamaw Land and Timber.
Where's Olivia?
Upstairs taking a bath. You think he's cute? He's in 2 of my classes.
Oh, sugar, you're about to have a mess on your hands. Upstairs, you got about 40 gallons of water that's getting ready to destroy your ceilings and your floors.
Olivia, tub, now. Geez, that was a close one.
Glad to help, honey. But let me tell you, when it comes to those teenage hormones, you are on your own. Trouble doesn't always come with a warning. You can rely on A&I.
The Cliff Ellis Show is sponsored by
All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 6 of the Cliff Ellis Show so far this season. Coach Cliff, I wanted to maybe end this episode. We did it last week, got to know who Coach Cliff Ellis is a little more. I have some random questions and some basketball-oriented questions. First one's a little more basketball-oriented. For you personally, and maybe we'll do other people, do you have any pregame rituals, any weird superstitious things to do for you? And then what's the weirdest or most unique one you've ever seen?
Well, my pregame ritual is this. For a 7 o'clock game, I get up in the mornings, and first thing I do is I go back through my notes of the game plan, what we're going to focus on. I make sure my play sheet, you'll see a yellow sheet in my hand. I will go through that. I will meet with the team. Usually around noon, we will talk about the game plan. There'll be a pregame meal 4 hours before the game. I usually go home. When I go home, I'll have my pregame meal and I take an hour nap every day, just so I can meditate. I get my rest. I get calm. I get focused, and then I come to the gym 2 hours before the game, and our pregame rituals and all start taking place about an hour and a half. So 2 hours before the game, I'll make sure I've got everything on the board that the players need to have, and then we go play.
That's a common theme with a lot of athletes I've talked to before is music, meditation, quiet, napping. I feel like it's the last people at home might a nap right before you're about to go run a marathon or play a basketball game. Yeah. What is it about that, just the calm before the storm almost?
Well, I think that is, be calm. Get your focus, meditate, focus on what you got to do, what you anticipate, and just rest, just come to a peaceful state because it's fixing, in a couple of hours, it's fixing to really rev up, really rev up.
Have you noticed either with this team or over the years, anyone, I've heard, maybe a shower before the game or.
I do that.
Do you have anyone that does any crazy things or?
Not that I know of, I just worry about myself.
When it comes to winning streaks, any superstitions, or have you seen anybody? That's more of a I know baseball players are known for being very superstitious, but.
No. Well, just keep doing the same thing. Not a superstitious person. I I have a ritual that I go through. I don't call that superstition, the pregame stuff, but I don't have that. I'm not a superstitious guy. Whatever happens is what's going to happen.
Any, whether it be from movies or real life experiences, halftime speeches that stick out to you that you either use for motivation or motivate you even, or?
Well, I think the halftime you have to depend on what's happened during the game. Pre-game, I'll usually talk to my guys, the day before a game. We'll talk about things. I think talking about life situations, and that's what we do. Like this week, I've talked to our team, we got to get off the mat. And I told them, this coach that you're looking at didn't have a lot coming up. I didn't. I worked in the watermelon fields when I was a kid. I worked from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Our family didn't have a lot of money. I had to earn what I had. And I walked behind a diesel tractor, and I can smell the smoke from the tailpipe and picking up those watermelons and lifting them and carried over. And I said, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon, and I knew I had to go to work, and I had to get off the mat. And then I said, and then I got a promotion. I got a job as a painter in a paper mill. I had to wear a steel hat. I had my Brogan boots. I had my clothes. I stunk every day and had paint all over my face, so I had to work coming up. And through that, there were several times when I was just worn out, beaten down, and you just have to get up off the mat and you've got to go. So that was kind of the lesson this week with our team is, okay, we've been in a tough situation. Hey, nothing's easy. 3 to 5 things are going to happen every day where you have to face adversity. You got to be able to manage that. Right now we're facing it. We've beaten the top team in the league. If we had a few things go our way, we could be at the top of the league. But you know what? We're not. So we're going to lay down on the mat and then get the 10 count, or you're going to get up and face yourself. So that was the whatever speech you want to hear, but it's a true story.
Right. Hey, it worked for me, honestly, right now. I'm ready to
go. Okay.
Well, they say, basketball is, that's one of the reasons myself, I guess I can't speak for everyone, but, just a metaphor for life in many ways.
No doubt. Teaches you so much. Basketball teaches you how to win, teaches you how to lose, discipline, all those things. If you don't get it, you're not going to be successful on the court, and you won't be successful in life.
Wow. All right, Coach, do you have any other parting words that I don't want to?
No, next week when we have our games, Marshall, 7 o'clock Thursday night, Saturday afternoon, James Madison, 2 o'clock. We got 2 straight weeks. Get your tickets. Come and support the team. Be vocal. We've had good crowds. Keep it up. Thank you.
All righty. Awesome. Thanks again, Coach. All right, thank you again, everybody, and tune in next week, and we'll have much more on how we did in the games to come. But that'll do it for right now, and thanks again, and join us next week.